can't breathe have echoed all across this nation and, quite frankly, around the world. For the president to try to put any other words in the mouths of George Floyd, I frankly think is despicable. And the fact that he did so on the day when black unemployment rose, Hispanic unemployment rose, black youth unemployment skyrocketed, tells you everything you need to know about this man and what he really cares about. Today, like all Americans, I'm truly glad to see that 2.5 million Americans have gotten their jobs back. For those families, that's a sigh of relief. For all those of us, it reminds us that the resilience of the American people. To those Americans, I'm so proud of you, so happy for you and for your families. I was disturbed, however, to see the president crowing this morning, basically hanging a mission accomplished banner out there, when there's so much more work to be done. So many Americans are still hurting. More than 20 million Americans, 1 out of every 7 U.S. workers, is still out of work. For an enormous swath of our country, their dreams are still on hold, and they're still struggling to put food on the table and wondering what's going to happen tomorrow. Can I pay my rent? Will I be able to maintain my mortgage payment? The unemployment rate remains the highest it's been in nearly a century. As I said, black employment went up this month. Latino employment jumped to over 37%. Hispanic unemployment overall is 4 times higher than it was before the president botched his response to the pandemic. And I'm worried when you look deeper to the data. While temporary layoffs went down, permanent layoffs went up. Donald Trump still doesn't get it. He's out there spiking the ball, completely oblivious to the tens of millions of people who are facing the greatest struggle of their lives. These folks aren't feeling any less pain today than they were yesterday. People who lost their health care in the crisis, they're not celebrating today, especially when Donald Trump is still going to federal court fighting to strip away the health care protections for even more Americans. The fact is that about 13 million fewer jobs today for American workers than the day President Obama and I left office. So while it's wonderful to see 10% of the families who've lost their jobs due to Trump's disastrous pandemic response start to make their way back, the president's behavior makes me deeply worried for the 90% who haven't. So to all those families who are scared, who are frightened, who are hurting, who are wondering what's going to happen next, I want you to know I and a lot of others see you. We haven't forgotten you. And I won't be satisfied until this country starts working for everyone. Just not now. Let's be clear about something. The depth of this job crisis is not attributable to an act of God, but to a failure of a president. The truth is, every country dealt with their job losses due to this pandemic, but America was hit much harder out of the gate due to the complete incompetence and mismanagement of the response. This morning, the president tried to compare the response of Germany and South Korea's. Okay, let's compare. Germany has 1/3 of the deaths per capita than we do. And South Korea has less than 300 deaths total. America has 4% of the world's population and more than 1/4 of the world's deaths due to this pandemic. 4% of the population, 1/4 of the world's deaths. There's no secret why. Let's get something straight. The president did not act quickly when he was warned to act, when he was spoken, and even his own team talked about him acting. For months, he downplayed the threat, falsely promising that everyone's going to be able to get a test, claiming that, like a miracle, quote, like a miracle, this will disappear. He repeatedly praised China's containment response, despite a litany of public appeals from many people, including me back in January, not to let American lives and the U.S. economy on the world hang on his confidence, quote, the Chinese government was being truthful. He refused to take action to get adequate testing in place, allowing the virus to spread further than it should have. Columbia University found that 54,000 Americans would be alive today, lives saved, if the administration had acted just 2 weeks earlier. And this failure didn't just cost lives, it cost jobs. New studies this week from Moody's and Brookings confirm that half or more of those who lost their job would still be employed had Trump mounted a competent response like Germany and South Korea did and other countries did, when he should have. We know why this happened. Donald Trump was more focused on the stock wealth of the biggest corporations than he was on the well-being of the American people. That's why he had his top economic advisors telling people buy stocks instead of preparing our nation to brace for this pandemic. Now, after over 110,000 American deaths, more than 20 million people still out of work, the consequences are clear. We're still facing devastating unemployment and still facing a historic health crisis. And we're the continuing crisis of violence, injustice, and indignity that's devastating Black Americans and many Latinos. We're losing the soul of this country. You know, they're some of the sternest challenges our nation has ever faced. And Donald Trump is patting himself on the back. He just has no idea, in my view, what's really going on in this country. He has no idea the depth of the pain that so many people are still enduring. He remains completely oblivious to the human toll of his indifference. It's time for him to step out of his own bunker, take a look around the consequences of his words and his actions. Let's be clear. The president who takes no responsibility for costing millions and millions of Americans their jobs deserves no credit when a fraction of them return. But there's a deeper concern here. As we recover some of the temporary job losses, we're still not on track to grow back in a way that will actually really serve working people. President Trump is still rewarding wealth over work. All we hear coming out of the White House these days is calls for more tax cuts for big investors, big corporations. Well, they didn't build this country. The middle class built this country. Unions built the middle class. That's who I fight for. If Trump continues to put the interests of CEOs and shareholders ahead of the American workers, we're never going to get where we need to be in this country. Look, every American has a choice to make in November, not simply to who they're going to have as their president or senators or congresspeople, but what kind of country do we want to be? What kind of economy do we want? And who will it serve? In the coming weeks, I'll lay out a plan I've developed for my comprehensive plan, not just to build back the economy the way it was before COVID-19, but to build it back better. It was already hurting for so many people. A plan to create millions of new good-paying jobs with benefits where people get a fair return on work, where we make the country stronger, more resilient, more just. As you'll see, that plan is anchored in job-creating investments in small businesses, trillions of dollars in infrastructure, investing in innovation, manufacturing, caregiving, and rewiring the faulty structures of our economy to ensure the dignity and equality for all American workers. There's a public health crisis, a job crisis, a crisis of inequity and indignity being endured by African Americans and many other people of color. Those three challenges alone are deeply connected to one another. So the solutions have to be connected as well. Any economic plan must start with a public health plan to make sure tests are available and they're able to be traced, test and tracing. Get our society functioning to build back the confidence we need to truly bring back jobs and small businesses. But that's only the first step. My job plan talks about restoring the dignity to American people. In addition to pursuing badly needed reforms, we need to grow wages, level the playing field, create tens of millions of new, good-paying jobs to build a better American future. There's a monumental amount of work to be done to repair the damage that has already been done. And simply tweeting slogans like transition to greatness, end of quote, won't solve anything for the families who are hurting and wondering, where do I go next? I look forward to introducing, I would have already done it had we had not had the death, George had not been held up against that curb. I would plan on introducing it earlier, but I'll be introducing it very quickly, implementing real a job plan that we're going to create and meet this moment. Americans can't afford to have any more of their time wasted. They need an economy that works for them, and they need it now. They need jobs that bring dignity, and they need it now. They need equal justice and equal opportunity now. They need a president who cares about them, who cares about helping them heal now. I can't wait. The response of so many people across the world, across the country, including many of our Republican colleagues, former military commanders, etc., is crying out. We need justice, opportunity, and hope. I have faith in the American people. We give them half a chance. There's nothing they can't do. We need to unite as one nation. When we have, we've never, ever, ever failed to solve the problems that face us at the moment. Thank you for listening. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops.